toughest guard that you found to defend?
Well, I would start off with a guy named Allen Iverson. And the reason that I start with that, Kevin, well, the reason I start with Kevin is I just saw the back of the jersey all the time, so I remember Iverson clear as day. But if I went deeper, I would say you're guarding the Hall of Famer Mitch Richmond at the time when he was playing for the Sacramento Kings. They would run an offensive set, much like for Reggie Miller, multiple screens by a bunch of guys who were big and strong. That was not good for me to try to fight through those kind of screens. But if you gave Mitch Richmond 8 inches, 2 points.
And Richmond was strong. He had Colton to his back.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
I can see the bruises. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, Mike Malone gave me a few minutes to catch up with him, and a lot of their focus is their strategy going up against Paul George. It was a threat from distance and at the rim. You can't take everything away, but surrendering long twos is probably the safest plan.
Okay, David, much appreciated.
Yeah, a little bit surprising he hasn't connected on at least one of his 3 shots yet, but he's going to keep shooting.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Here's Murray. Nails the wide-open jump shot.
Well, he's a tremendous shooter, is Jamal Murray, and nice to see him get to the mid-range and knock that one down.
Boom, he jams it straight down.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Well, just seeking out weaknesses in the defense and then exploiting it.
So it's Denver now. The Clippers getting the bucket. Now Burks near the three-point line. It's Porter, and the first shot of the night for him missing. And the pass to Baddest-One. Marvelously fast, and he throws it down.
Well, you see the improvement in terms of high-level playmaking, a great understanding of all the offensive scheme that Kawhi Leonard possesses.
Murray kicks to Burks. Back to Murray. Floats one up. That one no good. And the Clippers will come the other way. And going against Denver, their first meeting of the season.
And they usually came out on top when these two teams faced off last year. No surprise, they're the better team. And now you see them starting to really work the ball inside.
The Nuggets trail by 8. Here's Burks. Rebound by Harold.
He's so good at getting to the rim. Maybe tries to get a little bit too cute with that one. I thought he laid it straight up and in.
Their play on both ends has been superb. We'll see if they can maintain the momentum.
Like tonight, that all the hustle plays have meant so much to this team. Now just sustain some of that energy and keep comfortable.
Timeout is called. First of the game for the Nuggets.
And they're allowing too many points in the paint. Coach is going to let them hear about it.
Yeah, coach knows that. They know that. In the timeout, they're going to hear about it, make the adjustment.
Substitution here for Denver. Hollins checked in. Will Barton comes in for Michael Porter. Gary Harris, he's checked in for Burks. And Monte Morris subbed in for Jamal Murray. Big group substitution here for the Clippers. Zubac is checked in for Montrezl Harrell. Ilyasova comes in for Green. Landry Shamet's checked in for Kawhi Leonard. And it's Elfrid Payton in for George. Here's Baddest-One. Gary Harris making his last shot.
Yeah, they have gone full throttle from the opening tip, showing no signs of letting up.
Yeah, you wondered if they would take some time to find their A game. They did it at jump ball. They've been awesome tonight.
Rebounded by Baddest-One.
That's the only kind of defense that's going to cut the mustard here tonight. You got to stay on top of a guy like that who can play at such a high level offensively.
Displaying intensity right off the opening tip, especially on the offensive end.
Yeah, if you walked in at any point during this game to watch 5 minutes of play, one team played harder. We know who that was.
And here's Los Angeles. They're on a 16-4 run. Oh, and that one, no question, powered it down.
Really seizing the momentum of this game, but doing it with a methodical approach.
Well, how good have they been on the inside tonight, just getting down into the painted area and just dominating, controlling that spot.
And the rejection by Zubac. And it's going to be out of bounds. The Nuggets will retain possession. David Nwaba is checked in for the Nuggets. And Los Angeles making a change here as well. Williams is checked in for Payton. Harris passes to Morris. Basket is good. The assist from Harris.
Just continuing to develop an overall game that was evident coming into the league. Gary Harris getting better at spotting the open man.
Oh, he just punches that one down with a fury.
He rubs it in a little deeper with the hanging finish. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. Morris with the ball. He's coming off a 10-point game against Memphis. Shot clock at 6. Puts up a 3. And no good that time. And as the first quarter wraps up, already a double-digit lead. The Clippers on top. They lead by 14. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver, we're back in a moment. Nikola Jokic, a former second-round pick, turned star in the league, talks about what the game means to him.
Basketball, like passion, love. Like, that is the thing I play like when I know 4, 6, 7 years old. I don't know. Like basketball is.
In basketball, with the platoon swap here on the floor. You often hear about players talk about their favorite spot to fire from on the floor. How much of an effect does that really have, a favorite shooting spot?
Most of the time, Kevin, what you're talking about is star guys, because they're the ones who ultimately in any given possession, the coach is trying to find that guy in that spot to do something. What happens throughout the course of a year is when that player has the ball there, everybody else knows what to do. Right. Like the player knows what he's going to do, right, Kevin? Because he's the star player. But everybody around gets comfortable with the options and where it is that he goes. If he goes right, if I slide right, I'm going to get the 3. If he goes left, he's spinning back, I might move towards the top of the key. So the familiarity of not just the player, but the players around the player, that's where you can make it happen.
That's interesting. And the Clippers, looking at who they've got, the 2 stars, George and Leonard, fill up the forward slot. Payton is out there with Bannisborn, and Harrell's in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the baddest one in the last outing against the Spurs was all business. He added 33 points, and his percentage was impressive, making a number of his free throws and field goal attempts. He put up great numbers in a terrific effort. It's not a game that anyone wanted to miss, and he'll be looking for a repeat performance tonight, Kevin.
Excellent, David. Thank you. Greg, how impressive was it watching him completely take over?
Unstoppable. They won that game because of his effort and just his overall relentlessness.
They're going up against a team that had no answer for him. We'll see if it plays out the exact same way here tonight.
And the foul call on Kawhi Leonard. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. We'll go to the line to shoot 2.
And the medical red flags for Michael Porter Jr. caused him to slide to the Nuggets in the 2018 draft. 2 back surgeries in less than a year. An injury suffered initially in his sophomore year of high school. The risk is there, but if his body holds up, potentially a star in the making.
Here's Murray after the basket by Los Angeles. Burks looking around. teardrop shot. It's hauled in by Los Angeles. They've led by as many as 14 points.
You know what? He's just stone cold right now. Really not sure if he's their best option offensively as they try to get back in this game. Moving it around, 8 of their last 10 coming off assists.
Now, here's Jokic. He's coming off a 25-point game against Memphis.
Well, the thing he did most was fluster the defense. I really liked how he showed no fear and constantly attacked the lane and drew contact, which in turn got him the free throws.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
Murray outside. Passes it to Jokic. Fader on the way, and he buries that one, drilling the rim on the way down. Jokic has got 6 in the quarter. Outside, George to the middle. Here's baddest one, and he stuffs it. What a pass to set him up.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a pass available there for Paul George, but he spots that small crease, he fires the ball through it, and he gets it to his open man.
And so it's Los Angeles, bringing the quarter to a close with a 7-point lead. They're pounding the ball inside, and that's where they've gotten their best production tonight. And now let's catch up with David Aldridge, who's standing by. Thanks for the great interview, David, and we'll be back for the third quarter of basketball. And happy you could join us. We've got 2 quarters left to go in regulation. You know, baddest one has been exceptional here, guys.
The burst he's had when going at the rim has been fantastic. A lot of strong finishes through 2 quarters.
This is why the best athletes in the world play this game. If he finds a hole, he rips through and throws it down.
Alec Burks is out there with Murray. And it's Nikola Jokic. Then it's Willie Cauley-Stein. And it's Porter at the 3, the small forward. That's the group for Mike Malone getting going here in the second half. Clippers leading by 9. And the foul on Alec Burks. That is his first foul of the game. Here's baddest one. He's covered by Murray. Here's baddest one. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Clearly a foul.
First trip to the free throw line for him in this one. Friends, certain players make everyone around them better. Talk about some of those guys who will do that at the very highest level.
The interesting thing about today's game, Kevin, is it's not always the point guard position. I think in the past we thought 2 ways. The point guard, who has the ball in his hands, finding guys for them to make shots. And then through the 80s and 90s, it was low post players who were getting double teams and initiating some offense. Yes. Nowadays, it's a lot of wing guys. And it's guys like Kawhi Leonard, it's guys like LeBron James, Kevin Durant. Throw Draymond Green in there with his ability to pass the ball. Jokic in there with his ability to pass the ball. It's all happening around the three-point line and getting into the gaps. So they look a little bit different, the initiators, in today's game.
They're finding lanes to the hoop now with consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Time called here. The Nuggets decide to talk it over. And as the coaches go to the clipboard to outline their strategy during the timeout, the players getting a chance to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's key to staying fresh all the way to the final whistle.
And Kevin, it really is. And every one of these players knows it. They're all making sure to stay hydrated. It's impossible to play your A game if you're not getting enough to drink, especially towards the end of games when the physical toll of a long contest really starts to add up.
High arcing shot, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And there's the foul against Denver.
And the defender was slow reacting, didn't fully account for Kawhi's quickness, slow played him, and gets to the free throw line.
So it's Denver now, a 12-point game. Looking ahead, they've got the Jazz coming into town for the next game. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. And the rejection by Zubac.
It's a +5 advantage for them in rebounding after that one.
And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. It's on Gary Harris. The Clippers shooting their 5th and 6th free throws of the game. Brent, with advanced analytics becoming commonplace in the NBA, which stats do you personally hold most valuable?
Well, it's amazing to talk about effective field goal percentage. I laugh a lot
which is everything shooting. Free throws.
Yeah, well, I like to use true shooting percentage, Kevin, because that's where you adopt 3-point shooting percentage, 2-point shooting percentage, and your free throw percentage. But in talking to a lot of people around the league, general managers and coaches, I laugh inside to myself a little bit, like, oh, so now shooting's important? Like what? Like now shooting's important around the league?
Right.
As if, you know, the time that you go out to start playing basketball, you grab a ball, you go towards the goal, and your goal is to make the shot. And so we're talking so much more about how much shooting is valued. Effective field goal percentage is tremendous, with true shooting percentage being not far behind.
And that's a little lack of fight at the defensive end.
Absolutely. At least on that slam, you're right. That's one way to let a team back in the game.
You have to credit the aggressiveness offensively, because that's when you make a play when you really need it.
Denver making a switch here. Martin is checked in. And the Clippers making a change here as well. Ilyasova's checked in.
And they're doing a better job of working themselves to the line here in the second half.
Clippers leading by 15. Here's Baddest one. 30 points in the game. Wide open look here for Zubac. No good on the triple.
And even without that three-ball dropping for him, the defense should have done more on that last play.
Barton outside. Pass to Jokic. And a lot of contact on that one, so and here we go. Coach's challenge happening right now. This one in regards to the personal foul, seeing if that was the right call.
And I think when it comes to some of the more difficult calls to make, personal fouls can be tough. The action is so fast that it's really tough to catch everything in real time.
The wonders of technology, Greg. We've seen replay reviews so effectively, and involving the coaches by being able now to challenge like this is something a lot of people have been hoping for. And the announcement on the review is that the foul was called in error. So they have determined, Greg, to overrule the original call.
And guys, this is what it's all about, getting the call right. And I think in this case, the video reviews showed that while it was a tough call to make on the floor, they got it right with the review.
And he jams it with authority.
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now. Morris passes to Howell. Barton outside. Clock at 6. Morris outside. No good from outside.
And with the success they've had rebounding the basketball, they're right where you'd expect them to be, firmly in the driver's seat. Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Well, just seeking out weaknesses in the defense and then exploiting it.
27 seconds left in the third quarter. Jokic against Zubac. Here's Morris. That's in, coming off the assist from Jokic. Morris has got 6 in the quarter.
Oh boy, the touch is coming back here in the second half. Percentages from the field much better than it was at the break.
Here's Baddest one, covered by Morris. Here's Baddest one, and oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot 2. It's going to go on Wilbert. The Clippers have put up good numbers at the charity stripe, converting 6 of 7.
And going back a season ago, they were a pretty average team at the line, about 76% altogether.
Both good from the line that time. Well, through 3 quarters of play, down double digits, it may be difficult to overcome. Clippers lead by 17. From the Pepsi Center in downtown Denver, we're back in a moment. And while we can now, let's take a look at today's State Farm assist of the game.
Yeah, a terrific, unselfish play right here. Set up his team.
The Nuggets making a change here. Cauley Stein's checked in. JaMychal Green, he's checked in for the Clippers. Baddest one comes in for Peyton. And out of bounds as the Nuggets gain possession.
I know people can't see you, Kevin, but you're doing what I'm doing. Scratching your head to that turnover.
Taking a look at Los Angeles. They've got Paul George. Harrell is out there with Jermichael Green. Then there's Baddest one, and it's Leonard in at the 3. Good on the bucket.
Well, a 7-footer that has a bit of moxie. Willie Cauley-Stein loves to play rough down low.
Leonard kicks to George. Baddest one passes to George, and it's George finishing it off.
Man, he gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
Well, that's how you drive your point home right there. Pass to Jokic. Back to Murray. That's in, coming off the assist from Jokic. Jokic has got 4 assists now tonight.
Nice pass here to set that basket up.
Here's Baddest one. Cauley-Stein defending.
Love seeing a point guard who can explode to the rim like that.
Oh, great attitude and even a better finish.
Well, just seeking out weaknesses in the defense and then exploiting it.
Here's Baddest one. He's covered by Murray. Baddest one, and the layup's good off the glass. Baddest one's got 40 points.
Unwilling to let up even for a moment. That's his killer instinct, just fanning the flames.
Yeah, he's the guy that you want to go to right now, trying to put this one away.
Leonard against Porter. Outside for Murray. Clock at 4. Again, the miss by Murray.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession. And boy, he's really in a groove. Dominant performance last game. Same thing this time out.
Seems to be nobody standing in his way. No roadblocks for him to get to his spot, capitalize, and continue to be aggressive.
Denver with a platoon swap here on the floor. On the free throw, no good. A lot of missing stats from the 60s and 70s, but if we could go back and look at those actual numbers, any players you think would really be catching our eye in terms of, wow, I didn't know that guy was that good, or he's better than I thought he was.
Well, don't we always look at the incredible, mind-boggling numbers of Wilt Chamberlain
yes,
and think, what was that guy doing?
Yeah.
And we don't even have half of it.
No.
So Wilt Chamberlain comes to mind first. What I think about Kevin when that question comes up is how many great players through the 70s and also really through the 80s, because the three-point line wasn't accentuated enough, missed the opportunity to be even greater scorers. I mean, Jerry West with a three-point line, and you got to
imagine that?
You got to be kidding me. So there's a lot of gap of those players too that also, because of changes in rules and because the three-point line wasn't in, that we would be talking about in terms of nostalgia and their accomplishments with a much different voice.
Even someone as recent as Jordan, with the rules the way they are now.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable.
With the openness of the floor and what Michael could do, as if he wanted to prove he could do more.
Exactly. That one goes in.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for Los Angeles.
As one-sided as it gets today, you know, there were some dominant moments in about every facet of this game for that team.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, it's hard to think of what didn't go right for them. Game planning by the coaches, execution by the players, everything was just on target.
And with this effort tonight, grabbing their 8th win of the year.
And once it becomes official, this win gives them a nice confidence boost against this team. They'll face them twice more this season.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Baddest one.
It was tough to cover all game long. One of those nights when he felt like nobody could stop him, and they didn't.
And the whistle blows. It's going to be on Baddest one. That's his first foul. Five seconds left here in the fourth quarter. Here's Bates Diop. So the Clippers winning this one easily. A resounding victory for them. And Greg in enemy territory, no less.
That's exactly right. But with the way they controlled the game and just completely took the crowd out of it, that's how to get it done on the road.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.